Because I think a lot of times, as you mentioned there, like when you first start out, you've got the enthusiasm, like anyone would have, even when it's their own business, they have the enthusiasm for sales. They're going there and maybe not using the right tools. But what's one thing that you would share with people where, because a lot of times I hear people where they go, great, they get presented with maybe the right tools, where it's the right questions, process, thought patterns to have, but they get nervous, or they're like, oh, but that's not what I would normally say, or I wouldn't normally phrase it like that. And that's not how I would say it. What's one thing you could share with people about maybe overcoming that for themselves? Because a lot of the times when, people get given a script or a process to follow, I'm sure you guys would probably be number one fastest growing if every single person followed your process to the T and actually applied it all. What's one thing you could share with people about that process and understanding, working through?
I think as a sales professional or an entrepreneur or solopreneur or business owner, whatever you are listening to me right now, it's all how you view what selling is. Okay. Most salespeople, I hate to say this, most companies, most sales trainers have taught them to be that selling is somehow adversarial. Like it's you against the prospect, trying to win them over, manipulate them, pressure them to make money so you can make a commission. That's what average salespeople do in 2021. Okay, we're in a different age. This is not boiler room selling from 1983. Okay, the prospect is far more skeptical and cautious than they've ever been. They don't fall for that kind of stuff with the power of the internet and social media. You just can't do that if you want to be good. Average salespeople do that. Okay. If you want to be great at selling, you have to start thinking like what we call being a problem finder and problem solver, not a product pusher. There's a major difference in that way of thinking. Okay. Now, if you're listening to me right now and you're maybe in your office or you're in your house and you've got a pen and a piece of paper, grab that. If you're driving down the road and you're listening to Kim and I, don't kill yourself. Just remember this in your head. So I always do this exercise with people at events. And I say, look, let me ask you this question. Grab a pen and a piece of paper. And I want you to write down, and I want you to answer this question. Raise your hand if your prospects have problems. Who in here has prospects that have problems? Everybody raises their hands. Yes, my prospects I talk to have problems. So everybody knows, listening to me, your prospects have problems because there's no product or service that was ever made that didn't solve some type of problem, even an emotional need problem. Like if you sell Lamborghinis, it solves an emotional need problem. It's not necessarily it gets you from point A to point B. You can buy a Honda for that, but it solves an emotional need. So anything has been invented in mankind's history that solves some type of problem. Now, I want you to write down the two biggest problems that your product, your service solves. So write down two problems your product, your service solves. Now look at those two problems and ask yourself, does your solution solve those two problems? Does your solution solve those two problems? Now everybody's gonna be like, yes, my solution solves these two problems. Oh my gosh. You'd be surprised how many people don't even know what problems their prospects have when we ask them this question, like, what? I don't know what the problems are. Well, that's probably one of your problems that why you're not selling as much. Okay. So yes, you have problems that your service, your product solves. Now, here's the question, okay? If your prospects have problems and your solution solves those problems, then what is the missing link? Why are they not buying from you? Now, when I ask that at events, people are just like, it's like they've never thought about that before. Like, I'm not sure. I don't know. I hope and pray that it's going to work out. I'm just winging it all the time. I can see their mind racing. Like, I don't know why they buy. Maybe it's me. Okay, let me make a suggestion. It's not your leads. It's not that you don't meditate enough in the morning or listen to enough personal development or get pumped up enough. Or it's not that you don't work hard enough. I know so many hardworking salespeople that bust their ASS off that are completely broke. You know what it is? It's what you are saying. And more importantly, not asking. That's triggering your prospects to run the other way. So once you change what you're saying, and most importantly, you learn the right questions to ask, but at the right time, with the right tonality, the right delivery, in that sales conversation, all of that changes for you. You see, in our day, like I said, you have to be better at problem finding than even problem solving. And why is that? If your prospects don't buy from you, you can't really solve their problems, right? They don't buy your services, Kim, you cannot solve their problem. So you have to think of yourself as a problem finder, okay? And that means asking the right questions that helps your prospects find problems in their mind that they didn't even know they had. You can't tell them what their problems are because you're biased. You're the salesperson. That goes in one ear, out the other, right? You have to help them realize, because most of your prospects, when you first start talking to them, maybe Kim, you can attest this, don't even know that they have a problem. Or maybe they don't know what their real problems are. Or maybe when you first start talking to them, they don't understand how bad their problems are, or maybe what the consequences of the problems are if they don't do anything about solving them. Now, once you learn advanced questioning, you learn NPQ, not only are you able to help them find maybe one problem, but you're able to help them see in their mind that they have 2, 3, maybe 4 other problems as well. And when you're able to help them visually see that in their mind of here's where they are, their current state, here's where they want to be. We call that their objective state. What's the gap? All of these problems that your questions have now allowed them to see that they have. How do you think they view you now? They view you as the expert, as the trusted authority who's going to take them from here and get them the result that they want.